What's up, everybody? Welcome to Corrupted Entertainment. There's a couple of things I want to talk about today, and they both kind of revolve around politics, but in a fun way. You know what I mean? Like, nobody really wants to talk about him, but I guess you got this guy here. He's 30 years old or something, and his parents are kicking him out, and he's trying not to be kicked out, and they're trying to, it's weird because, like, InfoWars was calling him a liberal and all these things, and a millennial and a pathetic millennial and a scumbag and all these things. But they've invited him down to the channel. And Alex Jones, after crapping on him here and everything, is thinking about offering him a job. Now, he also mentions in the video, it's really funny, he's like, we also got a check for you here, And I don't know how much the check is. That'd be interesting to find out how much the check for this guy is. By the way, I know that the glare behind me is horrific, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm so depressed right now that I really couldn't give a shit that it's behind me, to be honest. In fact, if I would just assume jump out that window and land on my head and never wake up again than have to get up and try to cover that window with something at this point. And that's just being honest. But anyway, so this guy's kind of hilarious and pathetic at the same time. And then Alex Jones actually offers him a job, which I just think is really funny. Anyway, go watch this guy. Go check this guy out for yourself. It's kind of goofy. He has like the same suit in every video. That's the thing that I've noticed. That's might be a scary thing because every time I see him, I think he's wearing the same goddamn suit, same maroon undershirt. I think. I mean, I know that I'm always wearing similar clothing around my house and stuff, but I know it's getting washed because I'm living here every second. But this guy's going on a fucking tour with the same suit on. But anyway, we got to talk about this next clip real quick. And before I do that, I want to just remind you guys that Monetize This is tonight. It's going to be a show, man. We got another Points in the Bank on the line. We got some interesting shit to talk about tonight on Monetize This. And it's going to be nuts, man. It's going to be nuts. I may even, I may put my liver on the line tonight for who knows what, for donations. I don't know. I might put my liver on the line tonight. I don't know. Who knows? I might put my life on the line. You never know what could happen tonight on Monetize This. And I certainly don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that perhaps this week we won't have Grumpy Nerd and Scott fighting with each other for an hour the same way. Although several parts of that was pretty goddamn enjoyable last week. But we're going to have a much probably different show than last week tonight. And I expect it could get a little crazy. Could get a little nasty. And right now my fucking computer just froze, so now I'm just sitting here waiting to... There we go. So this is Tomi Lahren being there's water being thrown at her. She, Tomi Lahren, she's that kind of hot white chick, conservative, right-wing chick who pisses all the liberals off and pisses everybody off. I don't know. But, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, luckily, it's just water, man. She just got water thrown on her, but it's still messed up. I don't think anybody should have water thrown on them for their political views or for their rants or for their pundency or whatever they do. Should I have water thrown on me because I don't like Roman Reigns? I don't think so. Should somebody have water thrown on them because they like Roman Reigns? No. Or for your opinions. So I don't agree with it. I don't necessarily love Tomi Lahren. I think she can be pretty cool. Sometimes she has great little rants that she goes on. She's really smart. But there's other times I don't agree with her, but to have water thrown at her, I don't know. I don't think that's right to be shouted at, called a racist. I'm not a big fan of hers, but I'm not against her either, if that makes any sense. I'm weird. I go back and forth on Tomi Lahren. One minute I really enjoy her video, the next minute I think that she's wrong with what she's saying. But what I will say is that I totally disagree with some of the guys. It's funny, there was a news, I don't know, there's a black guy who does a news channel, I guess, and he was like, well, that's what you get for your wicked comments. That's what will happen when you say things, when you speak wickedly and with your awful things you say and stuff like that. And it was like, well, what's so awful what she says? What's so awful that Tomi says? What does she say that's awful? And then he called her racist and things like that. Like, what about her? Where is that? You can't just say somebody is something. And because, you know, like, what is the wicked thing she's saying? Like she, like, the only way you would deserve to have water thrown at you, maybe, would be if you were making videos saying, I hope people die, I hate these people, like, all these things, and you were just being a really nasty person who was actually hateful. But what is she guilty of besides giving her opinion, you know? I'm not even a big fan of her, but, you know what I mean? People that comment about her are like delusional or something. I think the right-wing people are delusional and the left-wing people are delusional. I tweeted this out earlier that my political party is my brain, as opposed to some people.
Tommy, let me tell you something. As a commentator, newscaster, whatever you want to call yourself, you have to realize that when you're talking about
for whatever you want to call yourself, she's on the news, man. Listen, I'm not a big Tomi Lahren fan. Like, I'm not a huge fan. I obviously, like, I think as somebody who used to be a liberal and somebody who is like all over the place, there are times that I see her and I think she's great, and then there's times that I see her and I think that she sucks, and she's like the evil, you know, evil white rich, you know, group of idiots out there, the conservative side that I don't like. But one thing it isn't debatable is that she is a reporter, a pundit, and some kind of a journalist, I guess. Right? Some sort of a political pundit, at least. She's on TV.
People.
This guy's on YouTube.
Make sure that,
I mean, I'm on YouTube too, but you know, let's call people what they are, at least.
That is something that you can defend in public.
What is she supposed to defend in public? That's my question to this guy. Make sure that if you make statements, if you make comments, if you say wicked things, that you can defend it in public. What is she supposed to defend in public? Having water dumped on her? In the video, she has water dumped on her. So what is she supposed to? How are you supposed to defend that? I don't think this guy understands. Tomi Lahren may be wrong. She may suck. She may be wrong. But how are you supposed to defend yourself in public with whatever sort of imaginary debate this guy's talking about when someone just throws water at you? I mean, I guess he's saying you have to be ready to physically fight someone in public for your opinion, and also that maybe you shouldn't have that opinion because you may end up killed or in a physical fight, altercation, water thrown at you, beaten, killed, stabbed, murdered, hidden, whatever. And in that way, this guy reminds me a little bit of like he's sort of trying to get into Hitler mentality, right, or in a Nazi mentality, or you know, he's sort of like, oh well, you know, if you say things, you could get killed. That's where this guy's going. That's where this thinking goes. If you say things, you better be ready to back it up in public. Well, what do you mean? Like physically? I mean, yeah, if I jump on YouTube and I start saying that, hey, listen, I'm going to beat Justin Bailey to death and I'm going to kick his ass and I'll hurt his family, I'll hurt him, and I'll burn his house down and all these things. Yes, of course, if I see Justin then in public, assuming I'm not a comedian, that I'm an actual person who says real things on YouTube and I'm not a comedian, if I see Justin in public, there is a chance we may have a fight because I threatened his life and family. So yes, at that point, I may expect that because I directly made a direct threat to him that I was going to hurt him and all these other things. Or at least I would expect maybe he would say, yo, what was that video about, fucking asshole? What were you saying? And then maybe I'd say, oh, dude, I was just joking. I wouldn't do that to you. And then maybe he'd say, oh, okay, well, dude, come on, like, why'd you got to do that? You know, and then maybe he'd be like, you know what, I'll make a video saying I apologize to you. You know, that's how civil conversation eventually works, you know what I mean? Or maybe I would say, hey, screw you, I'll make another video destroying you. And then maybe you step to my face and say, oh yeah, why don't you make that right now? Make that video right now. And then there might be a fight, and then you could see how that altercation would develop, right? Nobody would really blame that for happening. But for Tomi Lahren to just be a news reporter or a ranter or a pundit or someone giving their hard opinions, whether we like her stupid opinions or we don't. Some of what she says is great, some of what she says I disagree with. But the bottom line is, I'm not going to try to assault her in public because of that. But apparently to this guy, that's okay. And when that's okay, things escalate, and then you end up like a third world country where everybody just attacks each other for saying things.
Because understand something. What we do, reporting the news, understand that you can be touched.
Listen to this guy. What we do, he's like trying to make sure he's... See, I'm just like Tomi Lahren. This is what we do is reporting the news. Well, what Tomi Lahren isn't just reporting the news. She's giving her opinion just like you're giving your opinion. And I guess you get that because you're saying we can be touched. Yeah, that's true. You can be touched. But who would agree with the touching?
By anybody. And when you causing that much fire and that much smoke against different people, then don't be surprised if they come at you. So really, her getting water dumped on her, at least it was water. It wasn't nothing worse than that.
I agree with that. Thank God it was water, because it could have been acid. It could have been who knows what the hell. And based on the comments on this guy's video, holy Christ, if you want to see racist people, now I got to tell you guys, I have seen racist white comments. You know, people that say things in the comment section that they wouldn't say probably out in public or to anybody else. I have seen some unbelievably racist white people in the comment sections. And usually then there's like a group of black people that are racist too, you know what I mean? Or say racist things or mean things to each other. You know, 70% is usually white people in the comments, then 30% is the black. But my God, this guy's comment section is riddled with racist black people. It's insane. And I'm actually shocked because normally I see white people doing this, but this time it's black people. So, I mean, hey, if you want a race war, I mean, we're probably going to get it with this type of thought, because this is how it happens, man. The stuff I read from some white people is absolutely disturbing, and the stuff I read from some black people is also equally as disturbing, and it's not good. When will these people all come to our side, come to the middle, actually be humans, caring individuals who have empathy for other people, but also hold people accountable as well? I don't know. We'll find out.
Sure, was it embarrassing to you? Pretty sure it was. You say it was in front of your parents or whatever, but your parents obviously didn't tell you about your mouth. They didn't tell you, well, listen, it's a better way to say certain things than what you're saying.
How is there a better way to say what she says? What does she say? Where are the examples here? What does she say? What does she say that's so terrible? Let me try to find out what Tomi Lahren is saying that is just so fucking horrible. Here's a thing on her with Colin Kaepernick. Let's see what she says.
For you, bud. See, our buddy Colin decided not to stand for the national anthem because, well, he will not stand to show pride in a flag or a country that oppresses black people. For him, it's bigger than football. He would be selfish to look the other way. After all, according to Kaepernick, there are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. So let me go ahead and eviscerate this mouth diarrhea for you sentence by sentence. Here we go. Colin, I support the First Amendment. I support your right to freedom of speech and expression. Go for it, bud. It's this country, the country that you have so much disdain for, that allows you the right to speak your mind. It protects your right to be a whiny, indulgent, attention-seeking crybaby. It also protects my right to shred you for it. See, the national anthem and our flag, they are not symbols of black America, white America, brown America, or purple America for that matter. There are patriots of every race that have fought and died for this country, and we...
So I have sifted through many of her videos before making this video that I'm making right now. What is she supposed to change about what she says right there? I don't understand what she's supposed to say. Is she supposed to say it nicer? Do you want her to say it nicer for you? I mean, I don't know. Do you want her to be... like, what do you want her to say? Now, certainly, I don't speak like her necessarily, because I'm somebody who sees both sides of things. I get why Colin Kaepernick is doing what he's doing. There's a part of me that likes what Colin Kaepernick is doing. There's a part of me, though, that thinks he is a crybaby. And there's a part of me that thinks the NFL is hypocritical based on their decisions that they've made in this whole situation. So I am seeing how everybody is both wrong and right in many instances of this situation. So I don't have as a hard line, like, attack rant that Tomi Lahren had. But what is she supposed to say here? Let's go back to what he said.
Worse than that, sure, was it embarrassing to you? Pretty sure it was. You say it was in front of your parents or whatever, but your parents obviously didn't tell you about your mouth. They didn't tell you, well, listen, it's a better way to say certain things than what you're saying, because someone possibly going to touch you. And the great thing about this, it wasn't a black person that threw that water at you. It was somebody white.
Of course it was somebody white, because the white people are all they're all being brainwashed to hate people. These are the tolerant left, right? Listen, I don't like, you guys know, if you're somebody out there who's a liberal or a Republican, you know, I think most of you are good. There's obviously just a 20% or 30% group of both sides. But the left is always touting how they're the tolerant left and they're the righteous and they're the empathetic and all these things. But they're the ones that keep doing stuff like this. These are the type of people that got Orange Man elected, okay? So, you know, it's just kind of funny that they're upset about all that when they keep you are the reason. If you're somebody out there that thinks it's funny that she got a drink thrown at her, if you're somebody out there who says I wish it was acid that they threw, if you're somebody out there that says I wish she'd die or something like that, well, you're probably the same people that you are the reason why Donald Trump got elected. It's kind of funny. So I don't know what else she could have said here. She went on a rant and said, you know, what she says here. How is she supposed to say this better? So in other words, you want to control her thought. You want to tell her how she should speak. You want to say, listen, Tomi Lahren, and by the way, guys, again, I'll repeat it. I don't agree with her many times. But you want to say, oh, listen, Tomi Lahren, even though I don't agree with you, so guess what? You better say things a little differently. And by a little differently, we mean say the things we want you to say, and don't say anything about things we don't want you to say things about. We want 1984. We want you controlled. We want you to do what we want you to do. We want you to do what we want. What we demand. We demand. Because we were taught and we were raised in this political agenda society that we're in right now, that you don't say things like that, that you just go along with the system. If Colin Kaepernick or somebody does something that you don't like, you're supposed to like it, God damn it. You're supposed to go with it, or you're a racist. You're a racist bitch who deserves to have ice thrown at her face and punched in the head. I hope your mother dies too. We made fun of your mother in all the comments. We don't know anything about her mother, but she raised you. Your mother, her mother raised her, so her mother must be a racist too, and part of the problem. We don't exactly have examples of what we're talking about here, but we'll just be mad. Ah!
Honor the flag and sing the anthem as a reminder. And Colin, if this country disgusts you so much, leave.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Did you hear what she said? Oh my God! She told him to leave the country. Oh my God, the racism, the craziness, the outrage. Oh my God, she really shouldn't say stuff like this. She really shouldn't say stuff like this.
Shoot. So really, her getting water dumped on her, at least it was water. It wasn't nothing worse than that. Sure, was it embarrassing to you? Pretty sure it was. You say it was in front of your parents or whatever. But your parents obviously didn't tell you about your mouth.
Yeah, you should have watched your mouth, you stupid bitch. You should have watched your mouth. You shouldn't have said those things. You should have shut your mouth. In fact, you know what? There's a lot of people out there that should just start to shut their mouths. There's a lot of people out there that need to be a little quieter. They need to tone it down a little bit. You better not think for yourself. You better not rant. You better not spew anything against the global agenda that we have, because if you do, we'll cut you down. We'll tell people that you molested people. We'll hurt you. We'll hunt you. We'll kill you. We'll put you in jail if you're in Scotland. If you're in Scotland or the UK and you say something we don't like, we'll put you in jail. That's the world we live in. Welcome to the New World Order, folks. Do what you're told. Obey or die. See you tonight for Monetize This. Right here on youtube.com/corruptedpodcast at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S.